Welcome to this 10-minute yoga flow for stress relief. We're going to start in an easy seated pose with our palms facing up to the sky, closing our eyes and just taking some deep, easy breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Just clearing your mind and bringing yourself inwards. Now we're going to bring our right hand and place it on top of our left knee and twisting and facing towards the back. Just taking an easy seated twist. Now rotating and bringing your left hand onto your right knee and twisting to face towards the back. Bringing yourself back gently to center and now coming up onto our all fours into our cat-cow. Inhaling into your cow, belly lowering towards the mat, and exhaling into your cat, drawing your navel into your spine. And repeating cow, inhale, and cat, exhale. Just doing a few more rounds. Now coming back to center and then walking your hands forward to the top of the mat and lowering your chest down into our puppy pose, making sure your hips are aligned with your knees. Keeping our forehead onto the mat. If you would like to increase the stretch, you can bring your chin onto the mat and face towards the top of the mat. On your next exhale, lifting yourself back up now to come into our all fours again. And then just lifting your knees off the mat to bring yourself into your plank pose for our chaturanga. Exhaling, lowering towards the mat. Inhaling, upward dog. And exhaling, finding yourself into our first downward dog of the practice. Walking out your dog if you need to. Just staying here for a few breaths. Lifting now the left leg and opening up the hips. Bringing the leg forward into our high lunge. Finding your balance before reaching your arms up towards the sky. Lowering hands now back towards the mat on an exhale and lifting your back leg and extending the right arm up towards the sky, finding yourself into your half moon. You can keep your gaze to something on the floor, or if you want to test your balance, you can look up towards that top hand. In poses that are more challenging, we forget to breathe. Make sure you're inhaling and exhaling. Bringing that extended leg back down towards the mat now, finding yourself into your warrior two. I'm just going to switch sides so you can see me. Make sure you're bending into that warrior two, arms extended out into a straight T position. And now just going to straighten that front leg, shifting our hips back and lowering into our triangle pose. Hand either on the thigh, onto your shin, or resting your fingertips onto the mat, but never putting your weight onto your knee. In this posture, imagine that you're between two walls, making sure your hips and your bottom are not sticking out. Coming back up to standing now, we're going to come into a wide-legged standing forward fold, making sure your toes are facing inwards to protect your knee and bending at the hips, never the back, either placing your hands on the mat or just your fingertips. Feel free to use a block here if you need to. Lifting yourself up to your fingertips now and bending into that left knee and finding ourselves into our Skandasana. Staying here or following me and reaching your right hand up towards the sky with your gaze following, making sure your toes on your right foot are extended up towards the sky. Bring your right hand back down towards the mat now and lifting ourselves up into Warrior Two. And I'm just going to switch round again to face the other way. And now cartwheeling the hands down towards the mat. Coming into plank, chaturanga, exhale, inhale, upward dog, and exhaling, downward facing dog. Just walking out your dog and stretching your legs, lifting the right foot now, three-legged dog, opening the hips, bringing the foot forward into our high lunge, reaching the arms up towards the sky, hands down towards the mat, lifting our left arm up now into our half moon position. Remembering to breathe. If you fall out, don't worry, just come back into the position. Bending our front knee now and lowering gently into our Warrior Two. Keeping the front knee aligned with the ankle, arms stretched out in line with the shoulders. Extending that front leg, shifting the hips back and coming down into our triangle pose. Keeping your gaze either on the mat or looking up towards that hand. Bending the front knee and coming back up into our wide-legged standing forward fold, making sure to rotate the toes inwards and lowering gently down, bending from the hips, and just taking some deep breaths, just relaxing into this pose. Coming back up onto your fingertips and lowering into our Skandasana on your other side by bending your left knee, either keeping your hands on the mat or lifting up your arm towards the sky. If you want to increase the stretch and open the hips more, engage your tricep and slightly push the bent leg open. Bringing that hand back down to the mat now and pushing yourself up into your Warrior Two. Cartwheeling your hands back down to the mat, stepping into plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, inhale, upward dog, and exhaling back into our downward facing dog. Walking out your legs again just to release any tension. And then finding stillness in your downward facing dog, taking some breaths, and now lifting your heels off the mat, bending your knees, and jumping into our Malasana squat. Hands in Anjali Mudra with your elbows pushing your knees open wider to help increase this stretch. Just closing down your eyes here now and just taking some deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, and then bringing your hands behind you, lowering down now to sit on our mat and opening our legs into our butterfly pose. And then slowly lowering, coming down onto our mat, finding ourselves in our Supta Baddha Konasana. Keeping our legs in butterfly pose, we're going to take a bridge, lifting your hips off the floor, but keeping your feet together and your knees apart. Just working different muscles within our body. Trying your best to keep your hips off the mat. Only a few more moments now. And slowly lowering our bottom back down towards the mat and just resting again in our Supta Baddha Konasana. Try and clear the mind as we reach towards the end of our practice, either staying in our Supta Baddha Konasana or now extending your legs out to your Shavasana pose. Become aware of your surroundings. But don't let it distract you, just focus on it, heightening your senses, becoming more aware. Feeling the mat underneath your body, feeling the air on your fingertips and on the tip of your toes. Feeling your chest rise and fall with every breath, releasing any tension within our body. Now welcoming movement into the body by wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, moving your head side to side, rolling yourself onto one side and gently pushing yourself up into your easy seated pose. Resting your hands onto your knees, palms facing up to the sky, closing your eyes and just taking some deep final breaths. And on an inhale, we're going to reach our arms up to Anjali Mudra and lowering them down to our chest. Reaching them up again with an inhale, exhaling. Bring our hands to our third eye, may all your thoughts be pure. Bring our hands to our mouth, may all your words be of kindness. Hands to your heart, may all your desires be of compassionate means. Bring your hands back to your chest now. The divine light within me bows to the divine light within you. Namaste.